open the fist clench. Live and direct. That's what it is. We good to go. Okay, we're gonna try this Facebook one more time. Can't understand what I'm saying. I knew it. Like, okay. Y'all tune in. Somebody on Facebook type in on Facebook to tune in and catch me on IntellectualRadio.com on YouTube Live. They still playing games with me on my Facebook, y'all. Still playing games. I'm gonna try the Instagram on another phone over. Y'all tune in, but tune in the radio station. Let's get locked and loaded, y'all. We ain't gonna let this stop. No, you know what I'm saying. Tune in again. Go to YouTube Live, IntellectualRadio.com. Got a lot to talk about. Got a lot to be about. Gotta walk in and talk it, y'all. Walk in and talk it. What's today's date? 19th? January 19th? January 19th. Heads up, eyes open. 20. Woo. 20th. Man. Oh, man. January 20th, 2020. Heads up, eyes open, and fist clench. Y'all get locked and loaded for another episode of Freedom on Radio. We live and direct Intellectual Radio again. Y'all, somebody can put on my Facebook page for people to tune in YouTube, IntellectualRadio.com. I'm gonna come up out of this Facebook because I can imagine, I cannot even imagine how it's sounding to the people. We, you know what I'm saying? We don't want to make it confusing for y'all. But another episode of Freedom on Radio, IntellectualRadio.com, hosted by yours truly, Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. and Robin Allen, aka the Lady of Rage. Let's make history. Let's take history. Let's take history. That's what it is. Right on. Okay, y'all. Where do we start at? I know it's a lot of buzzing. I know a lot of people, a lot of things we want to address. I'm looking for some call-ins to come in. I seen some brother I ain't seen in a long time. Brother I was locked down with. We're gonna talk about this case. The police had shot him up in the case that he's fighting and exposed a lot of continuous contradictions have been going down. I think that's the 7th district, 63rd. It's on 63rd and Loomis now. It used to be on 61st and Racine. And ironically, that's the police station, 61st and Racine. Y'all may have heard me tell this war story. How I was, that's the sound again. Okay, I'm gonna go on tune out, man. I'm not even gonna, I should have just typed in. No, I'm gonna tell it to these typing in on y'all tune in that, so they know. They probably can't even hear me saying it. So we're gonna talk about that case. Got another case, brother locked up. We're gonna get some more details about that. We're doing for another call in about that. We're gonna talk about what else going on today. Well, the inauguration of for the 46th president of the United States. I think they re-signed it. I think some people think they re-signed the Emancipation Proclamation. With some people talking, but we gonna talk about that. What else we got on? I know a lot of cats buzz about this trailer that just been released. I know they want to know. And they be like, Chairman, you've been holding tight lip. What's the position on it? You know what I'm saying? Wait for it. I type something in myself. I can't type nothing myself, huh? No, they ain't gonna let me type myself. I'm gonna do sign language. I know, sis, man. IntellectualRadio.com on YouTube. I was trying to type it in myself. Y'all know the chairman is the best of this technology. I'm gonna go to YouTube. YouTube, Intellectual Radio. Somebody can't help me out. Type in for people to come to. I'm gonna come about this one more time, but let people know. Type in Intellectual Radio, YouTube. Y'all tune in with us over there. What else we got on the thing? What else we got on the recent release papers? Hold on. That's another case, brother locked up. Oh, it was sounding good at first. Yeah. Okay, we'll go back to that. Recently released documents released yesterday. Something that those of us in the know have been familiarized with, but it's something, when administration, when the state, when the white community acknowledges it, but the role of former director of the FBI, J. Edgar Hoover himself, direct role, the surveillance and the subsequent assassination of Chairman Fred Hampton. This is a hell of a time, and when I hear this climate right now, I look at like you see a lot of these guys, a lot of men and women when they release from prison. People say, man, they've been going their whole life. They took the prime of their life away from them, and then but it's a feeling they have. And they have been slandered. They have been lied on to their children. They've been slandered and lies told about them to their children, their loved ones, and just that like some say I was watching even the Hurricane with movie with Denzel Washington, which I'm gaining more and more respect for this cat. I mean, I don't know if they had a whole like a marathon of Denzel Washington movies. I was watching the other day, and he played Reuben Hurricane Carter. Hurricane Carter was hell of a cat, locked up, took from streets during his prime as a boxer, and he turned down plea deal after plea deal, and a lot of people can't understand that, what I'm saying? But your name, your principles, and a lot of people, they can't relate to that, what I'm saying? It's a foreign language to a lot of people, but just even that acknowledgement, but in this time right now, regards to, why do we move the way we move, so I grew up in the climate, and a lot of people to this day, you paranoid, so on and so forth, and how, but how the system operates, what I'm saying, it helps form your thoughts, your ideas, so on and so forth, and just even in this, and sometimes I miss it because it's to the norm, I was thinking about, a situation when we first sitting down, some of us having a discussion in regards to the movie, discussion about the possibilities of the movie on Chairman Fred. Myself, I think it was I know Brother Charles King, Macro, Ryan Coogler, my nephew, Shaka King, a couple more people that was sitting down at the table with us, and it wasn't even the front of who this was. I mean, the stereotypical, white dudes in suits with sun. I don't think they had the sunglasses on, but literally made it clear that they were, survey, watching us. This just was discussion about the movie Chairman Fred, and so this becomes it's a norm in our way of life. You know what I'm saying? And some, and it's like I'm speaking a foreign language. At times, a lot of people, like even just a situation just happened a couple of days ago, and not last night, yesterday, or last 2 nights, having back to back, with some major security concerns, what I'm saying, at the Hampton House, with it definitely was a counterinsurgency. And I'm even hesitant to even talk about it right now because again, it's a blessing and a burden having the politics, because you could, I mean, it's like a foreign language, and just sometimes you hold it in. You look for the climate, the time where, and I look back at during the era of the Black Power movement of the '60s. I hear about different dynamics where it was acknowledged, what I'm saying, about the counterinsurgency, even if that term wasn't known, but just recognizing the significance of, what I'm saying, there's a war being waged on our people, and distinguishing, just even with commitment, and like we said, I can't stand these people 14, 15 years old, and they were standing up and and sacrifice, and I remember even growing up, leadership for major street organizations, street tribes, say, man, you crazy, man, you talking about down for the people. And I remember telling this one cat, man, niggas down for cars, drugs, and dope strips, and you talking about I'm crazy. I said, cats like us, they can't kill, so we live on. And these are reactionary times where, and I think there's certain elements ingredients that have to exist to, to force a certain level of consciousness. What I'm saying? This, even the era of Trump, it was, the repressive, the upfrontness, what I'm saying? It helped, something, saying people's, nothing is all bad, as Chairman Fred always would say, ain't nothing all bad, nothing all good. force of discussion acknowledge certain dynamics. I mean, at minimum, race. You know what I'm saying? And that's long we start pushing the discussion to race and class, and again a political dialogue. But again, it's so many situations that we'll go to the grave with. But I look at this climate, just even you can tell that you can have a litmus test on what type of discussion, what type of movies. I was even that because I've been even studying some of the different movies now. The characters, the cast that played in the upcoming movie on in regards to Chairman Fred, and I was watching even the photograph and just stuff that you may take for granted, just to have a love story from our community, and acknowledging contradictions. You know what I'm saying? And not at the behest of one or the other. In other words, contradictions exist. Whether we're talking about the Crips and Bloods, Stones and Disciples, East Side and West Side. However, we're told to come in to not acknowledge contradictions, and which subsequently results in many cases to react to antagonistic contradictions. And that even that movie, The Photograph, just the dynamic of the sister, in the relationship, to her mother, how she wanted to go off and in a career of photography and some other stuff, and it wasn't not at the expense of the husband being a bad guy, a bad dude. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that we don't get to see that there are differences in our community. We're not all the same. A lot of people ascribe to the line that we all kings and queens. That's more than idealism. You know what I'm saying? Because the reality is, we come from different conditions and lack of conditions, and and idealists acknowledge that. So we're gonna be talking about that. We're gonna open up the phone lines for you to call in. Your thoughts. What I'm saying about the state's acknowledgement yesterday about one of the head of the most intense law enforcement agencies, so not the country, not the world, the FBI, and the direct participation, direct involvement, direct shot calling of targeting such forces as Chairman Fred Hampton. Those Instagrams, y'all can. Somebody hit me on my page if you can, my Facebook page, and let people know to tune in on YouTube Live. And also feel free to call in at 708-223-8953, also 929-477-3785, then press 1. We talk about a number of different things, so feel free to call in, feel free to cub in. Some things that make on the flyer today, the pending Chicago Public School strike, what I'm saying, what the CPS is talking about, striking. We'll talk about that, and amongst a number of things. So again, feel free to call in, cub in. Do we have any callers in queue? And excuse me drinking this coffee, y'all. Y'all don't do no commercials for none of these jokers, but need a little pepper real quick. Free them all. Again, if y'all feel free to call in, come in with us. What else we have on the fly? What else was I missing? The FBI files on Chairman for Fred. I'm trying to wait to build up. We had a discussion about the upcoming movie. I know a few of the trailers have been released. We want the conversation to buzz, and what I'm saying? And like I said, it's at the minimum, the dialogue that's happening. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying about rats, Asian provocateurs, so on and so forth. Again, we're gonna have this discussion, and this has been intense campaign. As I said before, the campaign to save the Hampton House. Speaking of which, y'all, make sure y'all don't forget GoFundMe.com/Save the Hampton House. Go to hamptonhouse.org. It's .org or .com? I think the website to get updates, and we .org, right on. hamptonhouse.org, you know what I'm saying? Also GoFundMe.com/Save the Hampton House. Also Cash App, Save the Hampton House. Yes, indeed. So again, y'all feel free. Excuse me, the dollar sign before $ Save the Hampton House. It's a Cash App. So y'all, you want to support you can. We moving and grooving. A lot of work to do. A lot of work been done. You know what I'm saying? A lot of work has been done. A lot of work to do. Yeah, I think we did. Yeah, we mentioned the not. Yes, indeed. Free them all.
So I was gonna
Oh, yeah, great point. Go ahead. Yeah.
So some of the names, a lot of the names I didn't know. A lot of white collar crimes, a lot of political crimes. But Kodak Black, the rapper, Bill Caprice is his name. Lil Wayne, Dwayne Carter. Someone named Desiree Perez. She is CEO of Rock Nation, and she had a drug possession, grand larceny, and possession of a firearm. And Kwame Kilpatrick. My thing is, when you're pardoned, because I thought Kwame Kilpatrick was still locked up. Michael Harris, who is one of the founding members of Death Row Records, he was pardoned as well. And I know he was locked up. But when you're pardoned, does that mean whatever crime, if you have already been released, that crime is wiped away, it's not on your record anymore, you start all over again? Or do you have to be locked up still and then released? Because I thought Kwame Kilpatrick was locked up still, but he was one of the people that was pardoned. So is it something where you just your crimes are erased and you get a pardon and a free pass and you start all over, or how does that work?
Right on. Let's even before we distinguish the different dynamics about how the pardons. Let's premise. Let's kick it off with the political nature of pardons. This is something. Something they have been discussing about the different presidents and during their tenure, who gave out pardons, the amount, who released who even acknowledged that there were political prisoners, and the question, that's even the question of prison. The question how there are certain phenomena that you can tell a lot about a country. Since like some people, like I think there's an old saying, like how a community deals with the women, or how your nation deals with the woman, tells about their particular respective culture, their respective people. The question of prison, how the prison question, how it's dealt with, how it's viewed, it reflects much of the ideology of the country. In fact, Malcolm X has assessed that America itself represents prison. Minister U.E.P. Noonan has says that the prisons are a microcosm of the outside community. We've seen historical battles with abolitionists, Quakers, how how to deal with crime. And the Quakers, in fact, they who positioned that it was, who really were the groundbreakers, initiators, and major players in regards to the prison. That said other situations for the community was so brutal that the prisons, I can't remember this one guy's name in particular, but the prisons were more humane. And we, the black community in particular, in many cases, we find ourselves, as we get during election time, choosing between the lesser of two evils. And the deal, the deal is all these dynamics are inhumane, because even in Africa, in the culture of our people, like you have different terms, like uhuru means freedom. There's no frame of reference of prison. It's a foreign term, a foreign concept of locking people up. So even when there have been instances when United Nations attempted to do arbitrary checks throughout the prisons, even during the tenure of Saddam Hussein of Iraq and others, they were willing to open and say, okay, come and see. It was the U.S. in particular that said, no, you cannot come and view what's going on inside these prisons. Former U.S. Ambassador Andrew Young, when he slipped up and made the mistake of even referencing saying that there were political prisoners inside the country, the heat that was brought down on him, he had to retract that statement. The arrogance where Hillary Rodham Clinton, former Secretary of State, was in the jail in Robben Island, looking out with former political prisoner out of occupied Azania, South Africa, and her and her daughter looking at the prison say, "This is a shame that he had this man locked up all this time." When the U.S. itself holds the number, the major player, you guys, you got, I think the state of California alone ranks amongst the highest amongst other countries in regards to prison population. So I just wanted to premise even the prison question, how it's viewed, and it follows a long litany, a long lineage of dynamics from that of chattel slavery, the sharecropping, convict leasing, where people be locked up and say, okay, you're gonna lease a house or lease a car. They had convict leasing where they would lease out prisoners and say, okay, we've seen such dynamics as the chain gang. So as Frederick Douglass said, in regards to chattel slavery, this peculiar institution will resurface itself, and these are different euphemisms that address. And the pardon, and we see how, how the politics of, you see, like even like doing around Thanksgiving, it's a ritual with different U.S. presidents they would give out, they would say, they would grab 2 turkeys and say, okay, you're going to be pardoned, you're going to be saved from being, chopped up for some, for this practice, of making this ritual of cooking, cooking these turkeys, celebrate this another one of these pagan holidays, and it's a big event where they say, okay, we're gonna pardon today. They tell you their names, the history of them, what farm they came from, so on and so forth. But there's a denial, not even acknowledgement that there are political prisoners in this country, and we've seen that even when old former U.S. President Obama, he acknowledged different, groups and schools of thoughts and individuals, for their respective beliefs, when he pardoned them and let them out of jail. But there were situations in the Black community where individuals were released, but the political nature of it was not acknowledged. That fast forward to the different dynamics of pardons and clemencies. They have, in fact, you have the clemency, and up under that you can have, clemency where you can see clemency. I think former Illinois Governor Rob Blagojevich had got the clemency from U.S. former U.S. President Donald Trump. This is where clemency can be what your record is clear. In fact, he had Jack Johnson, boxing champion Jack Johnson. He had received was it a clemency or pardon? A pardon under Trump's administration. And this is what, as you pointed out, co-host, there are cases when is that of the record being cleared, and then there are technical dynamics about actually being released from prisons. In regards to former mayor of Detroit, Michigan, Kwame Kilpatrick. But there are different subsections, pardon based on your record being cleared, or or you be the actual fact of the individual being actually released from prison. So so a person is open for a person either being locked up at this present time or have been locked up, and they clear their record. Then you have other dynamics they call expungement. Clearing the record. So these are the different legal terms. But the political nature of it is, the essence of it is again either acknowledging that this happened, or in some cases, this is something that the state will fight, not going into details about whether we go into question of, if a person did it or not. It's kind of like they say in the courts, a no contest plea, because this brings guilt. So not until the pardon may save the state face, they can say, okay, we're just gonna beg your pardon. The pardon, just keep it clean, And this is we can move, but in many cases there's attempts. So people say, no, I want to fight to clear my name, and this runs the risk of exposing the frame-ups, the taught, what happened to individuals, and many of us have our backs against the wall and our stomachs against the bone, and says, okay, just to get out, and not and it's the dynamic of pardons and clemency, like every other apparatus of the state, is used for political moves, and one of the dynamics about the Trump administration is where it's upfront. It's not, so in many cases they say, okay, like America, Machiavellian as it is, how it runs. You got this. This is based on because you redeemed yourself. You got paroled, and it flies in the face of such contradictions as that in Illinois, along with seat prisoners, what they refer to as the C numbers. These are prisoners who've been locked up since got sentenced around the 1978 law. And you get indeterminate sentences. This is for people like Larry Hoover, chairman of Growth and Development, who's still locked up, and they was push for a pardon. Chairman Larry Hoover and also Chief Malik, who's in the federal custody, in fact, the Ultramax. But on the state law, Larry Hoover and others were under the C numbers. And the C numbers were those who were sentenced under the 1978 law, where you had these indeterminate sentences. And it was blatantly shown how the disproportionate release were white prisoners who had like Charles Manson murders. I'm talking all type of case weird. Man, people. If you heard that case, you think it's a Steven Spielberg or some sort of horror movie. But black prisoners would, in contrast, would not be released. So they say it. They say the question of pardon and clemency is done for them, but the reality is it's utilized like everything else the system used, whether it be the gun, whether it be resources. It rewards those who work in this political interest, and that's one of the dynamics about the Trump administration. Whether it be the faith, gain favor from respective community, do certain moves. It's a political move that's embedded with it. So that like I said, so that even a lot of people, even Lil Wayne, that came out in support. U.S. President Donald Trump. People say, he's fighting the case, and I'm gonna say this. I think it's not what the individuals what individuals do, and they have psychological profiles on everyone in our community. Like even Lil Wayne, like he talks about when he shot himself, what he recalls is the memories of black police walking past him, but he looked up and the white police named Uncle Bob, that he still refers to as Uncle Bob. That's who took him to the hospital. And Trump knows, that this move here was sticking the mind and heart of not only Lil Wayne, but the children he would bear, for generations to come. The audiences that he will reach in music, to embed a message, to connect, and every well-tuned, or not even a well-tuned politician knows that, regards to when you in a fight, the black community, when you endear them, they they may get peace. They may say that they might say peace when it comes to defending their own selves in many cases on the plantation. When it comes to endearing them, they seen what they've done on the ground, for U.S. troops and U.S. attacks, throughout the world, and how they would, the propaganda bombs, how they, carry the message. So that's something. Even they're talking about they don't know what's Trump's next planned moves, but that was a strategic move. To re-indent himself in the minds and hearts of for such Lil Wayne. So yeah, again, everything's political, including pardons. We live and direct on Free Radio, IntellectualRadio.com. Feel free to call in. Feel free to cub in. 708-223-8953, and those who will release it, even if Trump's made no front about it. It wasn't. I think back. There was an interview with Mayor Daley Sr. He was in the elevator, and I think one of the comrades was telling him about this, and the news reporters was talking about the patronage, the nepotism that goes on in Chicago politics. Where how's your brother, your nephew have these jobs? And Daley was like, "What do you think I'm doing?" I mean, it was automatic to him, the kinship to reach out, to connect his family. What I'm saying? It was automatic. And he said, yeah, and we see it today, like even to the generations down. You see, who's over the water department, who's connected to the judges. That's that same connection. But we're told, to regurgitate this ruling class rhetoric. If you work hard, you can make it. Is but don't do no connections, so on and so forth. But he is who he pardoned. In fact, they were concerned that his arrogance, he would even do a preemptive strike. He would pardon himself before he was even charged with any crime. That was concerned he would do that, and that they know he expresses that this is that this the political dynamics of the ruling class is for their own self-interest. It may have the imagery of they tell you it's for the people, and this is what, like, this is like even in Chicago, the Mayor Daley, the Negroes that they were having elected positions, it still worked in the benefit of the ruling class. You know what I'm saying? So and people might can't see a direct connect, like, oh yeah, again, everything's political. Everything's political. We live and direct, y'all. Feel free to call in. Feel free to come in.
You mentioned Denzel Washington earlier, and Michael Harris, who was one of the co-founders of Death Row. He put up the money for Death Row Records. He produced a Broadway play that Denzel Washington, helped get him. He had already been in some stuff, but I think this was his first Broadway play that he had ever been in that Harry-O produced. So,
glad you mentioned that, because who was I talking to the other day about this?
And to point out also, no political prisoners. I don't think any political prisoners were pardoned. But throwing that in there too.
Yes. I mistakenly said that Freeway Rick Ross had funded that play, but that's correct. I was just having this discussion with someone yesterday. But it was, Michael Harris, Harry-O, that, and the deal is look back, I said, that's even with Denzel Washington that play, I was watching some of this, I said, I'm surprised how this guy ain't got no psychological issues. I mean, how he gets in these roles and he just, he does them, and just even my insight a little bit, so behind the camera, seeing certain dynamics. Him, Chadwick Boseman, you know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, this kid was working to the bitter end. And just like I said, I would a different view of it. Like I draw the analogy, like when I was, I recall being in the first time in a boxing ring in Galesburg prison, Galesburg concentration camp, and I was outside the ring, and his brother who was about 60 years old, so he was, knocking cats out left and right. You know what I'm saying? He had a long history. Then Goose. And so this young brother from Waukegan, tall young brother, he got in the ring and he got tired for a couple of seconds. I said, man, get back in the ring. What's that? Man, I said, man, are you serious? And I said, man, just back, I watch out then. So I grabbed the gloves. And that whole, I remember in the more I would swing on emotion and not respecting the science of boxing, more I was beating myself, and I remember the mat different, had the weights, and I remember those blows coming. I'm like, damn, when is it gonna be? It's gonna be over, you know what I'm saying? And this the whole dynamic of it. I later laughed about. I said, Chairman, you all trying to do some this analytical data. I said, I'm just going down. I'm in the boxing ring. Blow out the. I'm blowing back, but them blows. He wasn't playing no games, and I'm analyzing. I'm like, damn. I'm looking at the mat. I'm looking at the weight of this, and I said, man, this is I said, I never look at the boxing ring. I see you have to, like, I use an analogy like the revolution. How people just the Chairman Fred talked about revolution is a scientific art that must be perfected. It's not just you know what I'm saying. In fact, emotion can be detrimental to you in many instances. And I remember going back on the wing with all the leadership. Don Booney from the Black Gangsters, Red, all the oh man, so many brothers on there, oh man. And I said, man. So I get my war wounds, my battle scars on me coming out the ring. So I come in there, and Don Booney, long live him, he says, he come out there. He said, "Oh man, Hamp, man, could have told you, man. Yeah, man. Goose been the champ since such in 1976. He had knocked out such and such, and then they get to talk. You remember he knocked out?" I said, I really don't want to hear this discussion right now. You know what I'm saying? Post the fight. This should have been brought to me before I got in the ring. And we ended up having a phenomenal discussion. But how I look at it now, you check yourself. You watch. Man, come on, man. 2 minutes is a different 2 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And like even like Lenin's, and again with the correlation of revolution, Lenin marked a revolutionary, Russian theoretician. Lenin says that what takes people 20 years to learn in ordinary times, they can learn in 2 years in revolutionary times. And so you have to put in context, what are you dealing with? We don't say what the different. I tell you, that's important with politics. In fact, the philosophical tool that we utilize, dialectical materialism. We say, okay, what are we talking? What's your occupation? What race are we talking about? What genre? What time are we talking about? What are we talking about? Artists? Are we talking about movements? Like a lot of times people say, well, man, I got killed too. And this is something not to speak in an egotistical type of way, but it's a different type of dynamic to be assassinated by the government. It's a different type of feeling to be targeted by one of the most powerful entity in the world. I mean, the big kahuna of capitalism. I was watching a movie by Richard Jewell, the one who they said it was a suspect about the bombings, the Olympic bombings in Atlanta. And it is a part in the movie where the mother said how their lives have been destroyed just from the surveillance from the federal government. This is white people. This is in the 90s. So you have to go back and like I said, you look at the dynamics of, that's why when people even question about Minister UEP Newton. I heard he was getting high. I said, how dare you? How dare you even you put in the you talking about, you just say, man, you never walked in his shoes. Let's don't even can feel his panther paws. You talking about a visionary. And I said in the poem before, that lifted entire people up with the 10-point platform. When he slipped, who was there to catch him? Being in an apartment in the penthouse and had the federal government have an agent, not an agent, but a direct agent whose only job was to study your afterthoughts. In other words, stuff that you may say at the cuffs when you're just talking, just up there, studying every dynamic about that. You look at that scene, that panel discussion with Minister UEP Newton, Jawanza Jufu, and some others on the panel. And they were talking about the dynamics about Jimmy the Greek, said something about how black athletes are more stronger. And you not knowing nothing about the background, you know what I'm saying? People only could see what they seen. Minister, we had to, and when the commentator, the white lady said, the white dude said, well, Jesse Jackson said, Minister UEP said, man, UEP Newton said, to challenge that class contradiction. Not only to challenge that class contradiction, because the ruling class gives us who are our spokesperson, and they grab a petty bourgeoisie. They say, this is your spokesperson. And the remnants and the character, this happens in our relationship, this happens in our community, this happens in our music industry, with those who are raised up, because the criteria is actually trinkets that come from the ruling class, like during the era of chattel slavery, like it was real big it was real big in Brazil. You can still see remnants of it now to this day, where you would see those on the plantation, they would wear the shoes around their neck. You know what I'm saying? The sandals, and you say, why did they not wear them? That was a status symbol. The one about having shoes, that you had shoes. Because children grew up from the plantation working, never having any shoes, working, but just to have shoes. So the trinkets, that's how many of us view, and like I even heard that growing up. I heard look at his shoes, you see how he is. Look at what type of guy he is, look at his shoes. And now you ask many people in our community, they think it's some sisters on their own made that up. You think the preacher made it up, but these are even how we discipline our children. It trickles down from through the ruling class, via the politicians, via the pastors, via the sororities, via the mamas and daddies. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard to cut that out. You know what I'm saying? Because you come in there because people are so subjectively tied to it. You know what I'm saying? With this ruling class rhetoric. You know what I'm saying? Even so for even Minister UEP people to even challenge that was a statement to, you know what I'm saying, to get back up under we have put this person is your spokesperson. And then add to that, these are groups and organizations that have the trinkets, they have the shoes around their neck, they have the chains around their neck, they have the fancy cars on. So that's what a lot of people definitely define as leadership. Because the ruling class have given it, and a lot of people cannot politically, I can't understand why this person has a job, not being able to break down and analyze the politics. When we say the politics is the political analysis is what was given by Terry Crews at the Senate committee hearing. When Senator Dianne Feinstein of California was Congressman or Senator, I think she's a Senator. She had to be senator because it was Senate committee hearings. Yeah. So she was saying she really couldn't understand. I'm gonna say she's about 4 feet something, if 5 feet tall. And see, these are the reactionary dynamics that they give us. You know, they give us the even in Soul Rice in the beginning when former Minister of Information Elder Cleaver talked about the brain and the brawn theory. And many of us are, you know, so the brain and the brawn, when we, you know, with black men, black boys, you know what I'm saying, talk to the physical dynamic, you know what I'm saying, your nerve, it's insulting to have a brain. We just think, you know what I'm saying, oh, girls become more mature than boys, and the girls most doing good class. This is dynamic, this is how this is set up. This is what's enforced, what's embedded. She was asking Terry Crews, I don't understand. They talked the whole this was helped give birth to the Me Too climate. This is the dynamic about, you know, Harvey Weinstein and she was asking, how did this happen? She was really questioning, how was this thin white guy able to grab Terry Crews, this muscular guy, this big muscular guy, grab him by his private parts in front of his wife at an event? She really couldn't. He gave a political analysis, unbeknownst to him. If he do his political analysis, he probably say go back and retract that. His political analysis, he told that he responded to Dianne Feinstein. He said, I grew up in Flint, Michigan. That alone is political. That in itself is political. Politics is location, time, and so everything. You know what I'm saying? You listen. Someone was talking to me the other day. Well, I was at this group. They were saying they was this and that. I thought they were the Panther. And I was in such and such. You know, I said, okay, well, what part of Portland you were in again? I come back some 3 or 4 times. It's not absolute, but you take into account time and location, everything. And certain politics, you say Alaska, certain politics, if you don't think it's political, you got people in Wisconsin, you got people in different states with with children. They got time alone from the judge just from Chicago. In other words, they would come in and they would say, he's from Chicago. Okay, 15 years. Now let's talk. Now, what's the case? What is he locked up for? The political nature of Chicago. It's not no bragging point. It's not something that, you know, the deal is you are impacted by who are you colonized with. Because, you know what I'm saying, what side of town, what era? A guy said to me the other day, it's on this whole thing about the music. He's like, man, you know, I said, hold on, let's vet this cat. How is this guy doing this some music in regards to Chairman Fred? Oh man, you know, I'm from Chicago. I said, hold on, man. Hold on, back up. We in the day and age of gentrification, aka land grab. And a lot of people come from Chicago now. You know what I'm saying? So don't just throw, you know what I'm saying? It's a certain dynamic. You put in context, you know what I'm saying? It was the time, location, all that. Like even the streets, cats can tell you pick up, oh, no, where you come, what cloth you come from? Oh, that's some of Larry's men. Or them GDs, them growth and development. The time, period, location. Flint, Michigan. He said, I'm from Flint, Michigan, where I seen black boys, black men gunned down, strung out. This is a political phenomenon. It's an area where, you know what I'm saying, where it's up front, where they done put the chemical, biological warfare in the water. Up front about it. It's a location where we know for James Clark, the brother of Defense Captain Mark Clark, who lived there, was impacted by this, and so many others. It's a location where the Black Panther Party Cubs had the Cub Caravan to go down there and dispense water to the people, in contrast to the National Guard, who was taking names and IDs and addresses, who came back and locked people up for warrants and say you were illegal, so on and so forth. So Dianne Feinstein said, I really can't understand how did this happen? He said when he come from Flint, Michigan, when he got to California and is seeking making it in Hollywood, his wife told him, listen, tuck it, cut it, check it. Jane say, look, gorilla, get rid of that silver if there's any in you. You want to make it in this here? This how this go. Now you can put them on in a reactionary way. You can growl when they say growl. And so, you know, and no knock, some people can exist that way. He was trained, and the deal is some people not if they wanted to be trained, they couldn't even make it. They couldn't if they wanted to. I had commented Dr. Dre was interviewed by Vlad, and I commented to my counterpart, Face, formerly known as Scarface. I said, You can never be on them arenas that they have a lot of them cats on. I said, me and you, we cuss like us, we cut from that cloth. When you go to them Houston dog shows, and they come through to say the dogs, the pit bulls, they come through. Some of them dogs, they say, "Oh, take that one home." My daughter, she would love that one. Yeah. I know a groomer that can work with that one. Oh, down him. Some of those they see through down them, cut them through the door, down them, and that's the reality. This was something even prior to the class contradiction that the colonialists exploited during the caste system. You know, so again, we had this in Africa. We had the caste, CASTE, where they would study different dynamics. So these Africans who grew up on this part of the continent, sun and the strength, the upper body strength, or this one supposed their lower body strength. These can be utilized for the tobacco fields in North Carolina. These can be utilized for the cotton fields in Mississippi. And it's not a question of good and bad. The conditions, the dynamics, the contradictions. And the colonialists acknowledged it and exploited it. Back to this genius, Minister U.E.P. Newton. Not only was it a statement when he told a commentator, U.E.P. Newton said, the background story that people didn't know about. I mentioned earlier, there's some things that happened to me within the last 2 days that people couldn't even relate to. Some people say just talk about it, but sometimes it's toxic. And I thrive. I look forward to a climate when these type of conversations, you know what I'm saying, when I fall on deaf ears. The climate where we are cognizant of, you know what I'm saying, of the different ingredients in the counterinsurgency. But until then, until we win, there's certain things I will go to the grave with. Doing that same said interview, the Minister U.E.P. was on that stage with these other individuals. Unbeknownst to so many people, the IRS had just taken 2 of his homes from him, literally about a week prior to him doing this show. These are the attacks. Because at the time, people could, well, did he do it? Was this done? Was this done? I remember this individual, this coach at Nash, this cat, I'm gonna give him a shout out, Nuri. We was in the car and we was riding. The state was taking Bishop Edgar Jackson's church. His church was a community anchor. It was a place where the watermelons used to get dropped off from Mississippi. And Bishop Jackson would say, "Chairman, I got them field hams." We would sit out there with the watermelons, and the people would come get their food. And on 63rd and 64th and Ashland. And it was a long wage campaign that we engaged in to save his property. But Mayor Daley had other plans. There was different dynamic. And this community anchor impeded that. Then they moved in this other church. They planned on putting a police station there. Before those plans came out. But I remember this cat come on Nuri saying, "Well, did he pay this tax? Did he do this?" And these are the type of discussion that many people get caught up in. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of conversations are premature, and people wonder why don't you just say something? And the drain, the toll it takes on you. You know what I'm saying? You're just trying to, because you're fighting against all odds. You're fighting against situations where the climate is not even conducive, where people can't relate to. I remember the plane that got I was going to the West Coast one time, and I was trying to explain, this about 20 years ago, trying to explain that the wings were frozen on the plane. And then who I was talking to said, "Huh?" Well, I see that's all right. I said, "Well, I said it's delayed. I'll be there later." You know, and there was no slight, but there was no frame of reference. There was no frame of reference. And the deal is, there was a climate in the 60s also. There was a frame of reference where you had Nixon coming out saying campaign for law and order. There was a frame of reference where you seen with the U.S. ban its teeth in Vietnam. You know what I'm saying? You seen the Agent Orange chemicals being sprayed on, you know what I'm saying, on children and people. You seen the, you know what I'm saying, the slaughtering of entire coming through the rice paddies and killing off entire communities. But you not only seen that, you not only saw that, you saw the courageous Vietnamese people. You work what they had to work with. Go against French imperialism, U.S. imperialism, world powers. You seen the Vietnamese train bumblebees that come out of bamboo sticks, and the American soldiers would jack off ammunition, and they didn't know if it was the Vietnamese or bumblebees. You seen the politicization of from such forces as GOP and Uncle Ho Chi Minh politicizing prostitutes to the point that they would say, yeah, if they be a prostitute today, they commit to any American soldier that goes to bed with them that night, they would not get up in the morning. You seen propaganda bombs being dropped in places such as Saigon, where the black soldiers were concentrated at. You seen radio broadcasts telling the black soldiers, they just killed Dr. Martin Luther King. Your government just killed Chairman Fred Hampton. Why are you over here fighting for this country? You seen the people, you know what I'm saying, you seen the people combat liberalism. You seen the lines being drawn to say, no, we are not all Vietnamese. We're not all kings and queens. We are drawing the line somewhere, motherfuckers. We're saying, goddamn it, no, if the South Vietnamese are to choose the line with U.S. imperialism, so be it. You will not blanket us with this blind loyalty that we all together, we all people. We're not committed. Cause you're not gonna bring no one from South Vietnam and tell me, goddamn it, they no Capricorn or no Aries or no Virgo and say that's our connection. That you seen the people stand up and say we drawing the line based on the political analysis. Whose interest do you align with? You came off the heel of a climber with Kim Il-sung in North Korea. Said, John, we drawing the lines. If they align with you, so when the U.S. imperialism, you want to go, you go to the Yankees, we send the Yankees home. So be it. You get the same last name. You seen the climate. Well, Comandante Fidel Castro and others, the lines were being drawn. Say no, if you align with the Bautista babies, they got boats going straight to Florida for you motherfuckers. You seen the climate right in your front backyards where the Black Panther Party stood up. Said, yeah, motherfucker, we subversive. This is Minister UEP New. Now we clear. This is the Deputy Minister of Defense Bunchy Collins say, are we clear? This is the Black Panther Party. What all this and you seen with this vagueness and this false flag and the cats jumping up, playing black when it's beneficial, playing Panther when it's profitable. You seen the lines being drawn. You seen the structure. You seen the commitment. You seen with the state. Are you a Panther? Nigga said, no, they ain't. That's another organization. You seen the lines were being drawn, whether the motherfucker had a badge or a dashiki on, the lines were being drawn. Whose interest do you work in? The state of the people. You seen the conscience being heightened to the point where motherfucker Mike Turner to James Brown had to take a position. You seen motherfuckers trying to do crash courses. Sammy Davis Jr. try to get from up under the coattails of Frank Sinatra and become black overnight. You seen things moving fast forward. Fast forward. We live and direct on Free MR Radio, making history, taking history, and taping history, y'all. Y'all feel free to call in or feel free to call, being 708-223-8953. Also 929-477-3785. And then press 1. So come any callers in queue. Free them all. Where we at? Free them all. Okay. So okay, press 1. Press 1. Oh, no, my fault. Some callers were saying they called in. The press 1. Okay, my fault. Okay, go ahead, go. Press 1.
No, I was gonna say, long live the spirit of Patrice Lumumba. January 17th, 1961 is when he was assassinated 60 years ago. And you were talking about the bomb just a minute ago, and for the Congo to be rich in all the resources that it was rich in, and uranium and some of those things, lithium, cobalt, some of those things were later used to make bombs, and Patrice Lumumba was fighting for the independence, and he got that independence, but U.S. and Belgium plotted and succeeded in having him assassinated. I think I don't think, I know it was a documentary called The Most Important Assassination of the 20th Century was his assassination, and they couldn't have, Russia. He went to the UN and he asked for assistance to help because it was a civil war brewing, and he needed help, and U.S. didn't give him any help. He didn't get any help, but when he went to Russia, Russia was like, all right, we'll help out. And once that happened, it was like, oh no, we can't have Russia getting access to all of these resources. And Patrice Lumumba was like, these resources are of the Congo. These are for our people. We're going to utilize it ourselves and make it beneficial for us, and we can live and eat off of this for generations to come. And of course, they took him out.
Yes, indeed.
But that was January 17th. So long live Patrice Lumumba.
January 17th. What year was it, Patrice Lumumba? 1960. 1961. Also, ironically, it dates January 17th. 1961, and January 17, 1969, January 69, Deputy Minister of Defense Bunchy Carter and Deputy Minister of Education John Huggins assassinated on the campus of UCLA. That was a major hit by the CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, in regards to Patrice Lumumba, and they, even the work of Mobutu, and I think I seen some documentary where even the time when the fight with Don King had was it the Rumble in the Jungle with Ali and George Foreman. And George Foreman, yeah, and Ali had couldn't fight. He was still dealing with the fallout, the repercussions for refusing to be a poster child for the U.S. Army against with the U.S. aggression against Vietnam, and that fight they had said that like days prior to the fight, they said they had to clean up the stage, the ring, the floor of the ring from blood. You know what I'm saying? How much murders? How many murders under Mobutu? And they had a profile on Mobutu. The colonizers was it British. I think the British, yeah. And this is these are different dynamics where they would take out individuals, since okay, how can we? So you gotta be real careful. You know what I'm saying? They're not do it so cold and then bring a clone in. Do it so clone. I do that. I use that for one of my lines. They do it so cold and bring in a clone. Watch out now, shit. All right, I gotta get back in the I get back in the studio ASAP. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Y'all, we got any callers in queue? I'm getting text. We got free them all. Welcome to Freedom Radio. Welcome. Caller. Welcome to Freedom Radio. How you doing? Welcome to Freedom Radio. We hear you loud and clear. What? Can you hear us now? Can you hear us now? I tell you. Okay. Yeah. Welcome to Freedom Radio's Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. and also Robin Allen, aka Lady of Rage. What's going on with you?
Welcome. Everything. How y'all doing?
We, keeping our head up, sis. Keeping our head up.
Great.
Yep.
That's the best way to do.
Yes, indeed. This your first time calling, right?
Yeah, of course. Okay. It's my first time
right
calling,
on.
And I have like something to try to get me in the right direction of the questions that I have to ask.
Okay. Ain't no wrong way of doing it here. So feel free. You know what I'm saying? We, in the words of Sly Stone, and then we everyday people. So ain't no wrong way of doing it. So what's going on? Yeah, gonna lay it out there to what's happening. Just mad you in the beauty shop.
No, I ain't even go.
No, I'm saying you in the beauty shop. You in You're the beauty shop and the barber shop and in the community talking. So just feel free. Feel, you know what I'm saying? Just feel free about whatever case you want to bring. You let us know about. Feel free to talk. Let us know what's going on.
Okay.
All right.
How everybody doing anyway?
All right.
Okay. My question is, I was trying to get somebody to try to put me in the right direction of who I need to talk to about my brother. He's been incarcerated for 20 years. They convicted him for murder and first-degree murder. And one of the guys that got killed, it was told to me that one of his people worked in the state's attorney's office. And with that being said, it was a open to close case.
Mm.
You know, they didn't have no evidence. They didn't have no gun. All they had is word of mouth about two guys ran through a gangway with ski masks on and shot at a car. And it pertains to them putting it on my little brother and his friend. So I was trying to see how can I get towards the right direction to try to get his case reopened and look further into. They gave him in his refuge 90 years.
Mm. You know what stage the case is, like legally has it, have they filed appeals, and do you know what stage is in?
They've been denying their appeal.
Okay.
Right now I'm trying to find a lawyer that can, look into the case or whatever. I had been trying to reach out to the Innocent Project, but they giving me the runaround.
Mm-hmm.
To try to look further and further into the case.
We're gonna put the.
So at this point, I don't know what to do right now.
We're gonna put the call out. We got listeners, nationally, internationally. We're gonna put the call out. We need some legal assistance. While we putting this call out, I also want to say I want to go back and review. Let's look at the case from the people, from the viewpoint of the people, especially with this climate. Let's look for any phenomenal names. In other words, some they let us know if any of these police, comes John Burge, they've been involved in any other cases. It's a time right now that we can, I was telling the brother earlier, he supposed to be calling in too, where they got our community so divided, subjugated. It be these same different police, same different lawyers, same different foreign merchants in the stores. You know what I'm saying? That's working one on 63rd, one on 43rd, one on the 4th floor, setting us down the drain, one making a deal on the 6th floor in the Cook County Courthouse. Some of these police be on State Street, you know what I'm saying? Forcing cats to sell drugs, and we don't have no communication with each other. So also, I want to, again, go through it now because a lot of stuff's been exposed and see if we can find any names, like in the arresting officers, the judges, who they put. I was saying earlier, everything political. Who are they politically connected to? You know what I'm saying? So this is a time right now where the people's political pores, their ears are opening to hear some discussions about, man. A lot of times cats they can, I can't be the police will frame you. They're not just gonna lock you up. And we gonna come in not limited to just the legal arena. Not, a lot of people. I was other day I told somebody, I said, man, I hate talking to slaves. That's what you mean. I say a slave is somebody. I say they come in. Oh, you can't do this. This is illegal. No, we coming through the door with the people's position. So I want to look at the case and flip through some of the names. But between time, I want you to check out some of their names, the arresting officers, Google them, you know what I'm saying, and see if their name pop up on some other cases right now too that we can see the time. But we want to I want to reiterate, put this call out to our listeners, far and wide. Contact us. Y'all contact us. If you can call the show tonight, that's good. If not, inbox me or sister. If you want to get your information out, that's cool too. We need some legal assistance. On this case. But I need you to I need you to go Google them names and see if we can connect some dots on who they are. And I want to take a copy of it out myself too, so we do some homework on it. But again, we want to put a call out for some legal assistance, y'all. Those who if you can't get it tonight, hit us back next week or he inbox us. Or, you know what I'm saying? So I heard about the case. I know some lawyers that can work on it. And again, we coming in, we not respecting no timelines. Like I said, this is a time right now where, you know what I'm saying, it's retroactive. People, you know what I'm saying, come and say, wait a minute. This happened 20 years ago. Because now y'all see this shit been going down. You know what I'm saying? We gotta do it quick because Biden finna put motherfuckers back to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers couldn't get no sleep under Trump. He through the door. He letting you know, no, hey man, yeah, race exists. You know what I'm saying? Through the door. You know what I'm saying? So they finna run the sleep game in a minute again. They're not gonna run as good as the other one they just came out of there before a while ago. But so I'm gonna get them papers. But again, be checking it out. Listen on Instagram. I need y'all. We need. Somebody just asked what happened. Brother locked up 20 years. And at minimum, we, you know what I'm saying, we see some conflict of interest because they say one of the victims was shot, you know what I'm saying, related to the state's attorney. And we know how, you know what I'm saying, the Chicago machine in particular, how it gets down. So we put on the call for legal assistance, you know what I'm saying, get back on this brother's case. And matter of fact, if you feel free, if you want to give out his information too, people can correspond with him directly and see how they can assist too. If you want to give out his name and number, feel free to do that also.
Okay, his name is Maurice Murray. He's in Menard Correctional Center. His ID number is R24470. And you spell his name MAURICE MAURRAY.
Maurice.
And he's in Menard Correctional Center.
Maurice Murray. R dash. What is it? R dash. What's the number? R-22470. 22470. Correspond with 70. Okay, 70. That's Menard, Illinois. That's down in Chester. That's Menard. That's in Chester, Illinois. You can put Menard. See, shit, I know some of these damn addresses about hard. Shit, damn. Send correspond with him directly to see how how we can get some assistance on this case, get the word out. Again, one more time, sis. Before give me this information one more time. Listen close and write this down, y'all. Give me his name, his ID number again.
His name is Maurice Murray. ID number is R24470. And he's in Menard Correctional Center in Chester, Illinois.
So need y'all check on that. Check back in with us. Because I'm gonna see the copy of the paper. Check back in with us on next show. I need you, if callers feel free to get in contact with him ASAP. You know what I'm saying? We gotta seize the time with this case. In all these cases. You know, opposition free them all. Okay, we on.
I'm gonna have him to send me his transcript so I can read them. I had them, but they messed up. So I'm gonna have him to send me some more out, and I could read it further, and then I could get the name of the officer that arrested him, and the guy that got deceased. I can try to find out who is related to him in a state attorney's office.
Yes, indeed. All right, we on deck. Let's do it. Let's make this.
Get back on with y'all when.
We on deck. The lines will be open. Yep, we on deck. Right on. Okay, we on deck.
I really appreciate everyone.
Right on. That's our job. Real talk. Right on. Free them all. We on deck next Wednesday. We live and direct, y'all.
Before you go, I want to be clear on the number because you said 22470. Then you said 24470. R24470. Got you. All right.
The next.
Okay, I appreciate y'all so much.
Right on. Free them all. Right on. We on deck. Free them all. The numbers.
Right,
you as well, since we on deck. Y'all here in Illinois, she had just said R. That's I mentioned C numbers earlier. You have my number was a B number. They have man, and you can tell you have B numbers, L numbers, C man, but the C numbers were the ones after 1978. But the R numbers, and you really can, and you hear those. That's what she said. I think about the time. It reflects a certain period of time when somebody's locked up. K numbers, you know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like in a weird sense. This is a bad analogy, but I hate to, like people hear certain music. You say, oh yeah, you know, or even you know, what I'm saying, even with you, Robin. People say, okay, how do they know you through Steve Harvey show or Death Row Records or Baby D? It tells where how old a person is, and you know, so you hear these numbers, the B numbers, and aren't, you know what I'm saying? It reflects the period of, you know, and that's a sad reality that, you know what I'm saying. So I just thought when she said R, you know what I'm saying, and that it reflects it. I remember when Cass was coming in, I was like, what is, they said, man, what's your number? K such and such, you know, and this how many, and it reflects how many people are coming. And actually, it was a big thing about this because the letters they were saying actually was spelling out the word black nigger. All the letters they were getting, BLACKNIGGER. There was a big thing about that. I got to check them. Yeah, it was a big discussion about that. You know what I'm saying? The letters would, I mean, they were not just saying A, B, C, D, E, F, I, G, B numbers, R numbers, so on and so forth. Yes, indeed. We live and direct, you know what I'm saying? Making history, taking history, and taping history. Any other callers in queue? Sister Conrad? Free them all. Welcome to Free them all Radio. Caller?
Yes.
Well, you on live with us. Welcome to Free them all Radio.
Hey, what's up, my brother?
What's going on, brother? Who we got here?
Man, you got Gordon Granberry on the line.
Man, brother, I'm glad you called in. Yes, sir. Glad you called in. I know both. You know, these are people from the community. The sister just called in. Brother just called in now. People from the community. I know. I'm glad y'all. You know, what I'm saying, this is the people's thing. As I just said earlier to our last caller. Don't, man. This is your first time caller, but man, feel like you're in the barber shop. You know what I'm saying. We're back on the gallery. You know what I'm saying. And I mean, just we like everyday people. You know what I'm saying. The conditions. So what's going on with you? I'm gonna give a little background to you. You know what I'm saying? To you, I'm gonna open the airways. You on Free on Radio with Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. and also Robin Allen, aka the Lady of Rage, or as we just said, depending upon how old you are, you know how you might remember her though. Yeah. Welcome. What's going on with you, brother? What's talk to us? What's happening?
Oh man, in 2009, I was charged with 3 counts of aggravated battery, two attempted dishonor the police, and a resisting arrest. And I've been fighting that case since 2009 to now. I was accused of having 2 police guns in my hand at the same time. So right now, I'm just keep on fighting. I done passed. I'm in the third stage now.
What you mean 2 good? They were attacking. I heard about this. I heard about this case. They were beating you. I heard about this case. They were beating you down, and they said that you both had grabbed both of their guns. I heard this is a known case in the city. They were beating you down, and they tried to say that you had both of their guns in your hand. Right.
And it was a female officer that was involved also.
Mm-hmm.
You can hear her say shoot. You know what I'm saying? She was trying to get the other police to kill me right down on the spot. I really didn't realize it, you know what I'm saying, until now that me getting incarcerated for that crime, and I'm seeing what's going on. Because I didn't really understand.
Hold on.
And I would have been.
Hold on. Desi, we had an interview tonight. Okay. Give me about 30 minutes. I'm doing a radio show now. Give me about 30 minutes. Let me know about 30 minutes. Okay, right on. Appreciate it. I'll meet you back soon. Get the show. Right on. Appreciate you. Thank you. Right on.
I was saying that I was in a statistic like the most of these brothers out here because I really didn't understand until I got locked up.
Yeah.
And I was seeing watching what's going on TV to all the rest of these young brothers that got killed. And you know, and me seeing that, and I was one of them. I was just a lucky one that survived.
Yeah.
So right now I'm still fighting my case right now. You know, as we speak. So I was sentenced to 2 13-year sentence. And me going to trial, when they said that I had to put my hands on 2 guns at the same time, they ended up throwing one of the cases out on the man part. On the other part, they stuck me with it and gave me 13 years for it.
You still fight?
Yes, I'm still fighting right now as we speaking. My judge just sent me to the 3rd stage of my case. You know, they say that she did that. It just made my judge the head of all the Cook County judges.
What?
She gonna keep the case on through. She said she gonna see my case on through because she had just got promoted that day, and she had, granted my case.
What district? The police at when they assaulted you.
This was 63rd. It was 63rd and Loomis.
I think that's. Well, it used to be used to be Racine. Used to be in 61st and Racine. Now it's on 63rd and Loomis. I think that's the 7th district. I'm not sure. I'll be getting mixed up. But I think and I'm asking because, like, you know, I hope a lot of people in the community they listening because, like, you know, we grew up. You know, we used to hear about these. You know, like, you know, you about. I remember going. I had to lay low for a minute. I was over in the project, over in the hole. We grew up known as the hole, the projects over on State Street, and it kind of messed me up. You know what I'm saying? Like, going over there for a while, and hearing about these same names, Ann and Scan, Blondie, these police who were known the same police that was known. You know, then you start going outside, you go other places, like, damn, this is the same famous. You know, and you hear the same stories about these same police. And like even now, you hear about, you know, you go to the courthouses, you see this dynamic of these same individuals. You know what I'm saying? You hear the same stories about the police connected to the cartel. And one of the things about a oppressed community, a colonized community, and they have us so subjugated. Like even in the projects, I remember they were building, like, you know, leaving the building. It was like going to another city, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, in Cabrini Green, they talking about leaving the red building, going to the white building. And one of the setbacks with that is, it's kind of like during the era of segregation, like, you know, on the plantations, the lack of communication. You know, because that's one thing we seen a certain stage when the words start traveling. Like, man, they uprising. Man, who was this cat preaching? It's Nat Turner. It's getting down, and it became contagious. So like even this police who attack you or so, you know, I want people. We won't start. Letting be so the conversation can come out like, wait a minute, this person been moving around with impunity everywhere they go. It's a famous war story. One of the famous war stories I heard about Chairman Fred, the disciples. In fact, I don't think it was devil disciples then, they were black disciples. They were talking about how Chairman Fred had impressed them. It was a meeting they were convening. And Chairman Fred came to talk to him, and this police pulled up in the wagon, in the truck. And, you know, the cast was going to disperse, and he was known as Red, real white, big white police named Red. And so, you know, Chairman Fred got talking to people. He said, you know who I am? Chairman Fred said, yeah, I know who you are. I heard about you. And you say, you know, I'm Chairman Fred. Your time of, you know, coming around, you know what I'm saying, harassing the people, you know what I'm saying, oinking around doing this, he says, it's over with. You know what I'm saying? And this war story traveled. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Even to the, you know what I'm saying, to the joints, and you know what I'm saying, because we think so. We have to have a conversation where, you know, like even with the John Burris, the torture chambers, though he was in Area 2 violent crimes, it wasn't how they say when they study cases, they say, wait a minute, this you know, human, what they say, creatures of habit. This ain't the only location. Let's go back and check what else this happened at. John Burge, though he was known for Area 2, I think it was on 39th, 35th in California, and also 102nd somewhere. John Burge was a homegrown terrorist. He was trained in Fort Benning, Georgia. The infamous black box. So he was known to take the black box and, you know what I'm saying, electric shock, you know, men, I'm sure women on their sex organs, their private parts. But however, also he was equipped with a team, an elite team, in particular Joe Machine Gun Gorman, who got his nickname from the role that he played December 4th, 1969. So it's not just so we want it's a crew. I mean, the beat down crews, all of, you know what I'm saying, like on the streets, they come through and say, man, hold on, man, who was that, man? It's not just no individuals connected to connected to a whole crew of cats. So this individual, you know what I'm saying, y'all feel free to give us any background on, you know what I'm saying, and these like how they do us. What's his name? What's his nickname? We know, you know what I'm saying? We know that. You know what I'm saying? We need to know who these individuals are so people can be clear, you know what I'm saying? Recognize these criminals, you know what I'm saying? Because again, you hear all these cases you hear about, you know what I'm saying? Breonna Taylor, George Floyd. You go back and say, oh man, this pig was doing such and such all through the script. You know what I'm saying? So we want to at least let the record reflect who these pigs are. Y'all know the history of them. Any information y'all can provide to us or something they've done, you know what I'm saying? Whether you found something, not let us know. Because the deal is, as the Black Panther Party said, the information is raw material for new ideas. So, my brother, you know what I'm saying, you want to get us some names to us, feel free.
I know two of them.
Okay.
Joyce McClain.
Joyce McClain, and who else? Check y'all old arrest reports, y'all police file, check y'all cases, see if those names ring a bell. You know what I'm saying? You get old cases, you know what I'm saying? Again, ain't no statute of limitations for no frame ups and beat downs or hits that don't knock people. We gonna say this is a time we get heightened contradictions. You know what I'm saying? Say, hold on, man. This same individual that had this case on such and such. So remember those names. You know what I'm saying? And let it be, we want them put out there on PSAs, people service announcements. Okay. Yeah, we work with that. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Because in my appellate court, when I was doing my appellate court, the appellate court said that even though the police is a reliable witness, it still did not make sense that I had my hand on two guns, but they still affirmed my case.
Yeah. That's a step that we get to even we got to take those contradictions, because the deal is the law, like everything else, is, as I said earlier about the pardons that Trump get, it's political. Though they get it, though they run the words and terms like it's based on, you know, justice and who's right. But as Richard Pryor said, Richard Pryor say, man, I went down to the court, I was looking for justice. All I found was just us going this and locked up. And the deal is we have to take a position of saying, of hiding the contradictions. You know what I'm saying? Again, even with the Constitution, I mean, reality is Minister U.E.P. Newman said, when the Constitution comes down our people, it's nothing more than pagan poetry. So, but one of the weaknesses, especially with this day and age here, the system, that's a weakness out of fear of it being exposed. So we got, so we push the line about this and keep that in the narrative about, you know what I'm saying, like it don't make no logical sense to say, they beating you down, you got your hands on two pistols. So that gives them place to land. So, okay, you know what I'm saying, not guilty, so on and so forth. But we got to be clear all through the dope. Whether we talking about the elections, who gets the jobs, who get what position, it's not based on who works hard. It's not based on who's just. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not, I mean, this is a system that, you know, they reward 70 rats, you know what I'm saying? Know they're doing killings and put them out there. You know what I'm saying? This was the system was designed for, you know what I'm saying? So we got to come in with a clear mind on that. It's not about justice. It's not about, you know, stopping crime. You know, if we believe that the police or any other state entity want to stop crime, we believe Don King want to stop boxing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's an economy based on us, and I know you, brother. You're a go-getter. They'll say you got backbone. You know what I'm saying? That right there in itself is a district crime. You know what I'm saying? They smell it on you. They see it in you. You know what I'm saying? Like when they come through, when the poachers come through the jungle and they see the silverbacks, the gorillas, you say, man, I was just eating some bananas. You know what I'm saying? The chimpanzee over there doing it, why they ain't knock him off? They took him home. You know what I'm saying? Put him in a pet zoo with his daughter, told him, you know what I'm saying, how to do how about a music box and do backwards flips. Why they kill a gorilla like that? Man, just for having a backbone. That, you know what I'm saying? That's a crime in itself, according to this system. So
you was telling me that there's no limitation, right? That you told me during all the years that people be having these run-ins with the police. You said there's no limitation.
No statute limit. We not no statute limitations. You know what I'm saying? We got, you know what I'm saying? With the attack, these framers, not people. We have to seize the time. People now can hear certain things. You know what I'm saying? This is a climate. I mean, you know, a few years back, I can't believe the police will frame you up. You know what I'm saying? I can't believe it. So we got to get it in. You know, it's a climate where people's conscious level. You know what I'm saying? They can relate. You know what I'm saying? So we had to see. Then we can say, that happened a long time ago. Forget there's no statute of limitation for no frame-ups, lockups, anything that happened to our people.
Right. So, because I'm trying to see if I can go on with that. And I know one time, you know, during the time, you know, I was in the streets, you know, doing me.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and the police just came and kidnapped me. And took me all the way and walked the car and handcuffed me to their door and they beat me with this club. And they broke my arms and knocked all on my head. And I'm like, man, when I was young, I didn't know, you know, even though I can remember that I did child abuse, but you know, they didn't even know that.
They got to be.
That's why I asked you that question, because I have a lot of history dealing with the police. And that's the reason why my background is like it is.
When they approach you, they got that in their file. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be reciprocal. We have to, you know what I'm saying? This is inclusive of who we are. This impacts us. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this whole history. When they approach, they say our juvenile records, their files are closed and all that. That's not. They study us. They, you know what I'm saying? Like a dogmatic dog breeder. They not only do they know us, they know us. Actually. A lot of us don't need to go on no Maury Povich show and find out who the daddy and the mommy is. They know who is who. They understand the potential. So again, that definitely has to be inclusive in the conversation. It's inclusive in their conversation when they talking about you. They say, this such and such. You know what I'm saying? Remember he done this when he got into the boy 8 years old at the candy store. You know what I'm saying? Remember how how his walk, his talk. They study all that. All that's inclusive in there, and what is our jacket. I thought, you know what I'm saying? This is even those before us. It was I forgot who was tenure. It was in South Korea. They had a law in South Korea one time. Man, you get to doing your time. They'll keep you, your son or daughter, and your grandchild. They say, man, listen, we gonna weed it up out of you, which was in you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's definitely that must be inclusive in the conversation about what happened to you. You know what I'm saying? About people at the police. You know what I'm saying? In Washington Park as a child. No doubt about it. That has to be inclusive in the conversation.
Yeah, I have a lot of reviews. I just, you know, I'm just glad, you know, everything came to the light now because, you know, everybody, you didn't have nobody you could tell that you didn't do this.
Yeah.
We didn't have no lawyer, you know, just going through that, you know.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, it does, brother. Yeah, it does. That's what we, you know what I'm saying? I can relate. That's what we hear. You know what I'm saying? This is, you know what I'm saying? This is a people's thing. You know what I'm saying? And you're right, because I tell we go to certain entities that they're supposed to help us, but they can't relate to us. They can't relate to the people, you know what I'm saying? So that's what we need. This, so we want people, you know what I'm saying? We say protected, respected, never neglected. It's the party line, it's the party politics. And we embrace the people, you know what I'm saying? And, articulate the sentiments of the people. So again, we here, bro. We are here, live and direct.
I just want to say this last part.
Yes, sir.
Everybody out there, everybody that's listening to me, if y'all had any run-ins with the police, so this is First Street in Wentworth, the 63rd, Racine, and Loomis. And we need to get together and do something, man.
Right on. Feel free, any Facebook, any contact you want to give, people can, you know what I'm saying, make sure you tune in with us next Wednesday also. We got, you know what I'm saying, we got to be connected, you know what I'm saying, in the spirit of Marcus God, we one struggle, one people, man. Real talk.
Right. Man, thank you very much, sir.
Anytime, my brother. Love and respect, free them all. Power to people, anytime. Airways are open. Power to the people.
Man, love y'all.
Love you more, bro. Love you more. Yes, indeed. I'm gonna have that brother come back and tell you some war stories, man. Him that stood toe to toe next to each other before, and there's another brother with him today that just gave us some memories. You know what I'm saying? These are people that I you know what I'm saying. I feel fortunate to know these. You know what I'm saying? Again, as I said earlier, we relate to them. This Slash Stone them say we are everyday people, y'all. These are the testimonies of the people, and you know, so we claim ain't gonna save us but us, y'all. Real talk. How we looking? We got any more calls in queue? Sister Comrade. 708-223-8953 and also 929-477-3785. And press 1. Mm-hmm. So co-host, any more updates? Other than that, we're gonna grab some of the soundtrack to play it on out. I know y'all waiting on the report on, you know what I'm saying, where we at on the movie. Wait for it. Coming at you. Yes, indeed. Y'all keep tuning in with us. Real talk.
I was going to bring up the case of Patrick Warren Sr., who was a man in Killeen, Texas, a pastor who was having a mental health crisis, and he was shot and killed by the cops after the family had called a mental health resource officer the day before, and this person came and assisted the man, went with him to the hospital, you know, without incident. And the next day, Mr. Warren was having another episode, and they called for the mental health resource man to come out. He wasn't available. He wasn't there that day, and they sent a cop out. So when the cop came, he didn't have the same that same compassion that the man before had. So he was killed in front of his family, and you can hear the son in the background saying, you know, I said, you know, don't shoot no guns. Like, it's just a simple, he's just having an issue right now. And if you watch the video, you can see when Mr. Warren opens the door, they already have the gun, like they have, you see the red dot, he had a white t-shirt on, and you can see the red dot already on his waist, like coming out. So when he came out, you know, he was waving his hands, you know, he didn't have a weapon or anything. And he went on out there, and you can hear the family saying, don't shoot him. It sounds like he was tased before he was shot, and the son said when he got up, that's when they shot him. So I don't know how many of you were aware of that, but that's in Killeen, Texas, and the officer, the cops who killed him is Ronaldo Contreras. So 52-year-old Patrick Sr. dead.
Patrick Warren gunned down, and this whole issue about, you know, mental health in our community. This is a serious issue. This is another dynamic that is exploited amongst our people. When I say exploited, you know, what they say, the gang phenomenon. You know, so the mental health issue. These are, we see the contrast on how other community, well, the white community in particular, how it's dealt with as opposed to the black community in contrast. You know, I mean, like even also the drug issue. The drug issue is now it's referred to as opium addictions. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to just saying, okay, you're a dope fiend and locking you up. So that whole dynamic with the mental health illness, with the facilities I provide for you to help, we see it, how people are treated. So again, what's the brother's name? What's his name again?
Patrick Warren Sr.
Patrick Warren Sr. Let's keep our ears to the ground to see how we can keep update on this case. Hit us back with any respective Zoom town hall meetings, whatever that they may be having coming up soon, so we can flood it. That our sentiments don't be known regardless of this case and other cases alike. Real talk.
Mm-hmm.
Can we live and direct?
I'm thinking about get this image in my head of the people who stormed the Capitol and how they were being helped down and assisted and aided and dealt with delicately, and this man is having some type of breakdown and there is no compassion for assistance or delicacy dealing with him.
Even the individuals that came to the Capitol, this document that politicians had given them tours, like that same day.
Previously, yeah.
They gave them tours showing them, what's happening, what's what. Yeah. Yep. Yes, indeed. We live and direct. What are we looking at? Is that 8:26, 8:24? I'm tuning in. I see my brother tuning in with. I got to get some stuff to you, Archie. Man, man, still shopping, still the men and women shopping, men and women. Some people I see, I hear about just can encourage me. Okay, get on it. I know you just tuned in. We had some situations yesterday at the Hampton House. We had to move around for a minute, but we good. We got so much work to do. We're gonna make so much history. We're gonna take so much history. We're gonna take so much history. This is a terrible but fine time. You know what I'm saying? Stage in the game to be having this type of conversation, this type of organizing. Y'all keep your heads up, eyes on the fist clench. Again, Mr. Carl, free them all. What do you have, Sister Comrade, to take us out with? Was that the closing, co-host? Was there any other points? Co-host?
No, that was it. That's all I had.
I got you right on.
That's all I
had. Excellent points. Because I just was talking about here's one else. Another brother talking about the case. Yeah. What do we have locked and loaded on the sounds? Fremont. Okay, come on with it.
Hey.
Yes, indeed. Oh, man. Whoa. Wait. We got a video. Oh, I don't know how I missed this. We doing a video shoot, food giveaway at the Hampton House Saturday. I said 2. They said, Chairman, say 12 because you're going to be late. 12 o'clock at 804 South 17th Avenue, Maywood, Illinois. The video shoot, you know what I'm saying? So y'all come, you know what I'm saying? Have them colors on, black and light blue, all black. Yeah, I'm glad you see it. A video shoot for Don P's release. Real talk. Nephew Don P. All right. Free them all. This is Don P. You gonna play for us right now also. Free them all. Say it again. Free them all. Right on. Free them all.